Managing sales team can be as hard as you make it out to be or as easy as you want it to be. I see too many sales managers trying to micromanage every single sales rep, and they'll keep the entire team divided. But what I've seen in my personal experience, and this is coming from managing teams over the past 4 years in the high ticket space specifically, is the communication between the team without the sales manager involved. I want to break down to you today how you can build a team culture where even if you're not doing daily meetings, or even if you're not as a sales manager on top of your sales team all the time, they will outperform all of your competition just because you've built that culture, you've built that level of communication with them and in between them. My name is Boz Verk. I run RevenueGrowth.io. We're a sales agency. We build and manage processes for 7 and 8 figure businesses, and we partner with sales reps to build out sales agencies in their niches, in their verticals. That being said, subscribe, like, share, all that good noise. Let's dive in. All right, let's break down sales team communications. All right, this is very important if you have if you want to have a very high performing sales team that is just hitting and going above and beyond all numbers. First and foremost is the sales management structure. Beginning of the day, right? If you're a sales manager or aspiring sales manager, a couple things you have to do. Administrative tasks is just data, grading applications for the calls that you have booked or your closers have booked. End of day reports from the previous day and reporting from yesterday on the closed deals, deposits, or whatever happened with those deals, right? And then as far as management goes, you have daily non-negotiables. You have wins and announcements. Your sales reps always need to have a certain level of conviction in the thing that they're selling. And we do this by every single day you share a small win with them, a client result with them, or any sort of progress your clients are currently making. You set expectations for the day. Like today, you have to set expectations for your team, and then training and Q&A with the ones that need it. All right. This is beginning of the day, early in the morning. Next is middle of the day. This is ongoing. This, again, you do call reviews, whether it's a setter calls, closing calls with whoever needs it, not performing, do call reviews with them. Follow-ups with every single person, someone that no-showed, someone rescheduled, some deal that was supposed to happen but didn't, whatever it might be. Make sure your team is doing follow-up, and then individual coaching for whoever needs it. And that will be middle of the day. And then end of the day, you're looking at, again, data and inefficiencies. Data, you're looking at the daily setters and closers numbers. What were the number of sets? What were the number of calls scheduled? Okay. Next is a set to taken. Live calls taken from the number of scheduled calls. If someone has booked 5 calls, how many actually showed up, right? And if they don't show up, again, I'm going to go through that in this video as well, how we make sure the sales team communication makes the show rate go higher. But if they don't show up, why they didn't show up. And then results for any deals that closed, didn't close, deposit, funding, whatever it might be. That's data. Inefficiencies, again, no shows, trace back to setter. Okay. Offer made but not closed. Why they didn't close. Now this we trace back to the closer. And then unqualified leads. This has to be taken care of at the beginning of the day. If you have someone that puts 0 in the budget of your application, that's not a qualified lead. Why is that person there, right? So if you're, depending on your process, if you don't have a qualification process, if you're just running a straight book a call funnel, you're gonna have a bunch of that. But let me break down why sales team communication is so important. As first of all, the management structure, right? If you're a sales manager, you have to do this. But then the sales team, the closer and setter also need to be communicating within themselves, right? And the reason for this is, as a sales manager, sometimes they tend to look at you like their boss, or you're just hovering over their neck all the time. So you want to make sure you encourage strong communication between the closer and the setter. And what this does, all the communication, as in like the quality of leads coming in, the current status of those deals, what was the outcome of every single set. The closer has to let the setter know all these 3 things, right? Was the quality of the set good? What is the current status of the set? So, let's say the closer had a call, it's Friday, and the deal is going to close Wednesday. Make sure the closer communicates that with the setter, not just a sales manager, right? Same thing with the outcome. What happened with the deal? Like, did it close? Did it not close? Is it funding? What's going on? And then whatever other feedback they can give the setter on better improving quality. Hey man, this person showed up on the call, or wasn't really qualified, or they didn't go through the pre-called material, whatever it might be. so the setter can improve and set better appointment. It's like an infinite loop, right? And what this will help you do is top tier communication between setters and closers is going to help you better lead nurturing, right? For the time a lead opts in, setter calls them and nurtures them, which means increased show rate. If you're doing 50% show, I promise you, just better communication between closers and setters and better lead nurturing from the setters will end up in result in increased show rate, which again will mean higher conversion and then a motivated team. Everybody's motivated when cash flow is coming in, deals are closing in, appointments are being set, so on and so forth. So make sure all that is running. Now, as far as appointment workflow, I'll show you what I mean by uh, communicating between the team, right? So let's say someone booked a call. We make sure everyone is qualified before they go on the closer's calendar. This doesn't necessarily have to be your sales process, but this is what we do. If even someone books a triage call by themselves, we make sure they're qualified. So confirmation calls happen within 5 minutes. If no response after 10 minutes, then an hour or once every day for the next 7 days. And then if once the triager does get in touch with the prospect that booked the triage call, they set an expectation and an expectation for the reminder calls that they're going to get for the sales call, as well as a WhatsApp group. So obviously pre-call automations and sales assets sent, and WhatsApp group with closer, triage, and prospect. Again, when we talk about increased show rate, the triager or the setter is going to create a WhatsApp group, and they're going to introduce the prospect to the closer, right? And they share some assets prior to the call. What this allows two things to happen between the time the call is set and the time the call is closed or the sales appointment is set, right? That little gap usually should be between 24 to 72 hours, no more than that. But that time, we can do two things for that lead between the setter and the closer: education and engagement, right? If we can do those two, show rate will always be higher, right? And then obviously you have the reminder cadence, right? Night before, morning of, double dial, so on and so forth. I don't want to get into that this time. And same thing here, they didn't book a call, we force triage them. No response, same thing. Lead responded and appointment booked, pre-call automations, all that. WhatsApp group, again, same thing. Very important. And then reminder cadence, right? Every lead that books in a triage, you have to treat the same way someone who didn't book a triage. Every single lead needs to be qualified before being booked on the closer's calendar, right? And then obviously, if they don't show, you have a double dial sequence after 5 minutes and 10 minutes, and then you have no show sequence for we have in between 7 to 11 days. But yeah, so sales team communication is very, very important. Not only just management communication, but sales team communication in between them. The better they can communicate within each other. This is after you've already communicated with them, assuming you're a sales manager watching this or you're a business owner watching this, you've already communicated with them. Make sure they are also communicating with each other. So that's it for this one, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.